Welcome back to another episode of Vengecraft Garage. Today we're going to be fixing my mower deck on my zero turn. It's pretty banged up and some parts fell off of it, and I hit some tree roots. Actually, a lot of tree roots. So here it is. This is my Cub Cadet RZT 42. I don't know what year it is. It's probably somewhere between a 2005 and a 2007, I believe. And what happened was there used to be a bar that goes across here, and that broke off. It's great. See how see how bent this deck is in? That's because I hit a tree root. And I'll show you exactly which tree root. This one here. And I don't even set, and since you can see we got a lot of trees over here, just a couple. I don't even set the deck that low, but it happened to snag on that. And since this piece, this strap that goes across here wasn't there, it bent in. And then it started throwing sparks because it was now hitting the deck and popping out there, as you can see. So today, we're going to try to get this deck off, and then with my very limited welding skills, put it back together. So let's get you in the stand, and then so the first thing we got to do is we got to get down under here. We got to take this belt off for the deck. The deck belt. The one above it is the drive belt for the hydros, and basically just the hydros. That belt's gonna stay, but we got to get this one right. So you're probably not going to be able to see me get under here, but basically all I'm doing is pulling some tension on the belt and trying to drive the belt off. This belt is under a lot of tension from the spring right up there. All right, the belt is off. Now the next thing we got to do is there's pins. Let me pop you out here. We got to pull these pins to drop the deck here. Can't get it with one hand, so hold on. There's one. Now, I don't know if every zero-turn deck is like this, but this is how mine is. Some are connected by chains. Some just have easy pulls like these. I'll go under here and grab this one. Super easy, they said. Let me drop this deck actually onto the ground. Oh, look at that. Much easier. Lift that back up. Now the deck should be off. And from here, should be able to slide it out. So I'm actually gonna pull these. There's little tabs. Not tabs, but they're like little bars you can pull to disengage the transmissions. So we're gonna see if we can push this back and off the deck. I actually had to put a little fuzzy thing on the mic today. It's quite windy. All right. The deck is exposed. All right, so I'm gonna go throw this on to my golf cart so we can get this power washed. And then from there, we'll do some horrible welding. I'm gonna be using this pretty cheap electric power washer that I have. I have a gas one, I just didn't feel like pulling it out. It's only like 1800 PSI. I like it because I can wash like my motorcycle and dirt bike and stuff like that, not worry about pressure, my golf cart. But that's also the downside to it is, it doesn't have a lot of pressure. Let's get all this wet first. Doing okay. See if I can close this even more to a 15 degree. See if that's better. Here's the area that's really messed up. So that's kind of what the area I'm going to focus on. You can see over here, it's bent in quite a bit. Not too worried about the rest of it. Yeah, it's caked on there pretty good. This area here, there's a hole, so I want to blast that out. As this gets more wet, it comes off a little bit easier. Let it soak in. The reason I have a 42 zero turn is because I just got an acre. I don't really see the need in, getting anything bigger right now. I also want to fix this deck because I'm a pretty frugal person. Well, of course. Sorry about the noise. It's just, a jet flying over. I live very close to an air base, so it's lovely. As I was saying, I'm a pretty frugal person, and I think we live in a very wasteful culture, so I don't like throwing things away. I could buy a new deck. I could buy a new zero turn, but why? It just cuts grass. I think today's day and age, we live in such a disposable culture. Everybody's just quick to throw things away, and I like to try to fix things. And as a last resort, if I absolutely have to, then I'll buy something, but most things can be fixed with, not much time. I know how precious time is. I got 2 kids under 2, so I know. You gotta fly today. All right, I think we got this good enough. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just the areas that I want to, weld. I got to put a brace here. Probably bend this back a little bit. Stretch this out, which I have zero idea how I'm going to do that, but we'll see. Sure. Perfect. Now that it's clean, I can really bring you in here and show you the carnage. I think that's good enough. So let me bring you in here. So here's what we're dealing with. It's ripped open pretty good. So I'm gonna try to bend this out. See if you can see here. This is all nice and round, and then it's bent in. The blade kind of hits. That's hence why we're getting sparking and everything else. So, yeah, let this dry off for a minute, and then we'll get the bending and welding. All right, so got you back up in there. The first thing I want to do is try to get this to expand out so this isn't so bent, and then we'll go into trying to fix this. I think I'm just going to hammer back and then use my awesome welding skills to get back together. I'm going to have to bend this down and up to get it as flat as possible. The piece that I'm going to be using, where'd you go? It's here somewhere. Oh, it's right here. The piece I'm going to be using is this. This is a scrap piece of metal that I found somewhere. And we're just going to bridge it across like this. It should almost be perfect once this is bent back. So let's get a hammer out and start Bending some of this back. This feels like it's gonna. I don't have a stand that I can put this on, so I'm just using the back of the golf cart. That as flat as possible. That, and then my idea, because I don't have something that can expand this out, is using this here scissor jack and just pushing on it. I mean, is it a stupid idea if it works? Oh, it's gonna. Metal likes to go back to where it came from, and as soon as I let this go, it's gonna spring back a little bit. But for right now, we can clean a little bit of this up. This probably needs to come down a bit. I'm not looking for this to be perfect. I just need it to be functional. So right here, we have about a finger width here. This is going to spring back some. So let me loosen it to see. This actually has one of those where you put the, basically a bar and twist it. But I found that this socket, which is a 15/16, actually fits on there quite nicely. So there we go. Finger widths. Because see, if I let this completely out, oh, it's actually not bad. It's actually pretty close to where I want it. So let's put this down here. Now let's get a fitment for this. So what happened was, since this brace came off, when I hit something, it has nothing to hold it from bending. So it kind of just does what it wants. I'm gonna have to get this little bend out of here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'm not a welder. I've never claimed to be a welder. I'm not good at welding, and this is gonna look awful. But it's going to be functional, and that's, you know, that's what I care about. The welder that I'm going to be using is just an 80 amp Harbor Freight stick welder. It's good enough for a hobby welder. Let's just put it that way. So let me clean this off, get a wire wheel, and see if we can just get this cleaned up a little bit. Of course. Why would it be charged? Why would that have battery life? All right, so I'm going to use, oh, do I even have it here? Oh, and I just bumped you. Clean this off really quick. It's a little tab on the end. I'm just going to bend out of the way. There we go. Actually, I might just hammer that in, because, well, why not? There we go. All right. Yeah, this looks pretty scored up. Yeah, the metal up here is really cut pretty bad. As you can see, my blades look like they've been through a grinder. So that's good. I just want to make sure we have the clearance that we need. And then I might actually, no, I don't think I'll have the room to do it. I was going to say, actually I might. I want this to expand out just a little bit more. Just so if I do happen to hit something in the future that bends, it's not going to get into the way of the blade again. Should be good enough. Let's see if I can still lay this piece across here. I can. I would really like if this was a little bit longer to get a really good weld on it, but you know, you got to work with what you got. So I'm going to clean that up again and try to get this tacked in there, and then we'll work on this other side here. So just give me a minute while I go grab some more tools I apparently don't have right now. All right, so this is a very cheap battery grinder. Can't remember where I got it, but it's very cheap. But it works for what I need it for. Look at that, clean. Other side. There you go, bare metal, perfect. All right, let me get my welder down. So this is it. This is the welder I'm using. It's, like I said, just Chicago Electric welding. It's an 80 amp. It does what I need it to do. I know it's not great, but it'll work for this application. This is what I've found to be the most user-friendly for beginners rod is 6013. That's, from what I've read, it's the easiest to work with. So that's what we're going to be using. All right. And then since this is getting mocked up, I'm going to weld this on here like this and then bend this. I'm going to have to bend this down. But I should be able to get a good weld around here and then on the inside. And then I'm just going to have to get a clamp, bend this down, clamp it, tack it, and then maybe hammer it out to straighten it out. It's the best I can do right now. So I got to take the metal off of here. Let me just grind that really quick. There we go. All right, it's cleaned up. If you are a professional welder or very good at stick welding, just, comment down below. Give a guy some tips because I would like to get better at welding. Look at that, no penetration. So let's try this again. All right, time to keep booger welding. We're gonna go for the middle. All right. So like I said, and as you can see, horrible welding. You know what they say, a grinder and paint make a welder what he ain't. And that's actually very true because obviously you can see I'm not a very good welder. So what we're going to do here is bend this. I got a clamp. It's not the right clamp you're supposed to use because I've already melted it before. But I just want to tack this. I'll put this right here. Yeah, it's gonna get in the way. So maybe do that. I can tack the end here. All right, back to it. All right. Should use a little compressed air to cool it down a little bit. It didn't melt it that bad that time. All right. So that's in there. Get that good wire brushing. All right. Cool her down a little bit with a little air. Then I got to bend this up to get these two pieces to connect. So let me... Okay, so that's straightened out. All right, now that's flush against there. We can throw a horrid-looking weld on there and maybe a little bit on the other side and be good. Sure. All right, let's turn this off. A little brush action. So we come in here with the grinder. 1 second, take my gloves off. Like I said, it ain't perfect. Not perfect at all, actually, but there we go. That's kind of straight. Still need to get in here a little bit. My rod's a little run down, so I'll have to get a new one. Let me undo this, because obviously we don't need it anymore. There we go. Yeah, well, you're not gonna have that. Yes, it's terrible. I'm gonna get a new rod and try to get this together. Just to do a little bit inside here, and then you know, rattle can a little bit. So let me get a new rod. See, and the key thing is, if you don't think you can weld, you absolutely can, to a degree. I'm not saying I'm good at it, because obviously I'm not. But if you need to do something around the house, just for instance, something like this, I mean, it could work. As you can see, this is going to work. How long the weld will last, I have no idea. But this does work. The only reason I got a 110 is because I don't have 220 out here. Eventually, I want to get a pole barn built in the shed to go somewhere else, and maybe get 220 then. If I had 220, I would buy a MIG welder. The thing that's nice with a stick welder, though, is you don't need gas for it, shielding gas. MIG welding is going to turn out to be a cleaner weld. I mean, I've seen some people stick weld that. It looks beautiful. But that's the biggest thing, is I don't want to have to constantly be going out buying gas, especially with how much I don't weld. So I only use it a couple times a year. So this is good enough for me. So let me get my helmet back on, and we'll finish this up, clean it up, and then we'll start working on the sides here. I don't know what I'm going to do for this middle hole, just because I don't have any scrap metal or anything, I don't think. Trying to think. I don't think so. So, just gonna have to figure that one out. Let's turn the welder on, make sure that's not touching metal, and then we'll get in here a little bit. This is supposed to have a hot start, but I don't know. This thing's cheap. Oh. There's a hole in my glove. No wonder why I got so hot. All right, let's come in here. That's one big hot weld. Where are you? Nope. There we go. All right, I'll say that I am done with that. At least that portion of it. So I'll tell you guys right now, I will never do like a muffler or anything like that. I'll leave it to the professionals. And this is why. To get like a MIG or a TIG welder, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. All right, so these front pieces, I kind of just want to bend them back up. Probably need some kind of something behind it to bend it flat again. Do I got something? I don't know. No. I don't have like a metal block or something. Oh. We got a little bit more clearance there. Sure. How you looking now? Still terrible? Yep, sure is. Might have a block of wood. That might help. A boat anchor. Oh, there we go. Oh, they're no good. Sure. This piece is really messed up. It ain't even connected. So what do we do here? Let's grind this down a little bit. Where's my grind? There it is. I'm just gonna clamp this and handy dandy scissor jack. Push this out again. Let's see if I can get this. Oh. Oh, uh-huh. There we go. All right, let me show you guys what I'm working with here. So basically, we have all these big gashes and cuts. This isn't even connected anymore. It looks bad. It looks real bad. I was gonna see if I can get something tacked up here, but as you can tell, it's pretty botched. So I'm gonna have to find another piece of metal to kind of just cover this up a little bit. So, all right, I'll be right back. I'm back. I did find a piece of metal that may or may not work, but we're gonna find out. So, let's see here. Here's the piece of metal. We're gonna just put it right. We're gonna try to make this flatter, but essentially it's gonna go right here, just to get these two pieces together as best as I can get them. Let's not do that. We're a little hot. Yeah. All right. Let's move this. I think this is good. Seems to be okay-ish. It's really thick metal here. So, like I said, we're gonna move this. Try to push against it. Right there. Right? Yeah, I think so. All right, let's get back at it. New rod. I also want to weld up some of those cut marks. See what we can do. burned a little hole through it, but let's see if I can fix that. Where's my brush? There we go. Hole eliminated. All right, let's try to do this. All I'm trying to do right now is fill some little holes. Is this the right way of doing this? Nah, it's not. But like I said before, this ain't gonna be perfect. All right, so I think we got this booger welded together in the worst possible way. So let's, all right, so I'm going to take this off. There we go. Check out the spin on here. Perfect. No issues there. This does have to be bent out a little bit. Yeah, sure. See if I can bridge these two pieces together. Just a little bit more welding. Just a little bit. Just to see if I can get these two pieces to connect so they don't come apart in the future. Where are you? There you are. Ow, down the boot. All right. Make some of that loose. Make some of that loose. I still have a little hole in there. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I don't have thin enough metal to deal with that. I'm gonna have to buy some sheet metal later to deal with this. Could go on the other side and, you know, just flatten it out, because grass gets stuck in there, it's wet, and then it just further rots this all out. So here's what we're gonna do. Sure. There you go. Oh, nice and clean. Oh yeah, it looks perfect. All right. This with the hose really quick. And then, let's see here. Perfect. A big dent here. Oh, knocked my ground right off. Straightened right out. Kind of. Here we go. All right. Let me get a little. That's still a little hot. This is Rust-Oleum flat protective enamel. I use it all the time for stuff. It works pretty good. Give this about 7 seconds to dry. And then we'll reassemble. Yeah, looks great. All right, let me pop this off of here. We'll get the zero turn back up here. Just gonna make sure these blades spin properly. Yep, no issues there. While I'm in here, and a lot of people don't do this very often, but ow, there is Zerk fittings on the inside of these spindles. Please grease them. Otherwise, the spindle bearings will inevitably go bad. I mean, they will inevitably go bad, but you're going to prolong it if you grease the Zerk fittings in there. So I'm going to grab my grease gun, and I'll be right back. Well, is that all the grease you're going to take? There goes the grease fitting. I have more, but I don't know if it's going to thread in now. Well, I just had the beat on that like there's no tomorrow. I can't believe that. That would not come out of there. So now, we got to see if the threads got all boogered up. You're not supposed to run this down with a drill. You're supposed to do it by hand, but... That's just what I'm doing for this. Just don't do it. All right, that should be good enough. I don't know why it keeps coming out. All right, so for this one, I'm gonna make sure I clean really good. Move you back so you can see. And I'm actually gonna use my wire brush to clean this one, because so hopefully this one's not stuck. There you go, looks fairly clean. Sure, pop this one on. All right, is it stuck? Nope. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, put this down on the ground, and then if I get some sheet metal, we can go around to fixing that. But as of right now, I just wanted this deck to be functional, and I believe it is at the moment, besides the welding and a little bit of the paint and rust. Yeah, it's fine. All right, I got the deck back on. Everything looks good. So I think we're ready to cut the grass again. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you, welding this thing back together with me, even though it was terrible. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment. Please tell me what I'm doing with welding wrong, and I'll catch you next time.